Yee! Or you can teach people how to actually, what the word means, or the words, mise en place.
What words?
Mise en place.
Oh, yeah.
And just rearrange everything.
Yeah, we can totally do that.
Because that would be beneficial to no one.
Left on. Fantastic. What up, nigga? It's cracking, boy. Man, we have stitches, man.
I'm not gonna dance this time.
Anything. Rap stitches, tell it all the business. Sit in the court and be their own star witness. Do you see the perpetrator?
I'll turn that off before we get kicked off.
Yeah, how many seconds before you get sued?
I think isn't that 7 seconds?
7? Okay.
But wait, is it 7 seconds until you get? Isn't that the delay in live television?
I think so.
7 seconds
Yeah.
before to like bleep something.
I think so.
Something like that. Give it a few minutes. We're getting any traffic.
Getting a couple. We've got David in Skokie.
Oh, David Andrew.
And we do look
My
like
old
we
boss.
have a Markakis or Maracas. There's a baseball player named Markakis. And I can't read his screen name. It's got a bunch of four. How do you pronounce a 4?
4. Just say the word 4. Oh, David, if you're still on, drinking a little quagmire here. Yeah, he's like, oh shit.
Shit. Oops.
I did not mean to sign on to that. Drinking a little Beguile. Double American IPA. Sheepdog approved. He has big sheepdogs.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he loves beer. And so he posts pictures of a beer with his sheepdog. And then he gives it a little blurb. Like, this beer is toasty and malty. Sheepdog approved.
Hey, it's good to have
So I had to,
sheepdog approval.
I hijacked his
Got one
catchphrase.
comment. We've got a nice bag of lettuce.
Bag of lettuce. Parsley, actually.
From Mr. Maracas.
Was that Maracas?
Mm-hmm.
I got to give a shout out to Sigil Screen Prints. Check them out on Instagram. Got this awesome Hellraiser
Bugs
shirt.
Bunny shirt.
Bugs Bunny, yeah. Up to you if you think we should give it a couple minutes.
Before I said it's 4:02 officially, let's give it a little bit.
Then give it a little bit.
Close enough.
We're ready to grip it and rip it.
It's real crazy.
Feel like a cool, like, shogun.
Ready for battle.
Yeah. If I watch any more movies and I see people holding knives like this, like chef's knives, I'm gonna lose my shit. It drives me so crazy. You know what I'm talking about, though?
That should be
Or
our.
like,
Yeah.
Or like watching someone try to cut like a big thing of lettuce with like a paring knife.
Yeah.
And they're holding the paring knife like all the way at the end. It's cutting this.
I mean, I was bad, but I wasn't that bad.
No.
Maybe.
Just watching anyone,
Maybe.
Yeah, watching anyone like on a cooking show or even like,
Yeah.
you know, just whatever. Just
Look it up on YouTube.
with like a serrated steak knife. You know what I mean? Trying to like cut salad, cut veggies for a salad. It's so infuriating.
People are dumb. There's only a few people on, so
We are people.
I do include myself in that.
Yeah.
Just ask my son.
Unfortunately. Yeah, ask any of your sons.
I'm dumb.
Oh, Dad, you're dumb.
You don't care about me.
White kid.
What was
White
that?
kids. You're stupid. Shut up. It is a bummer that we can't have music though.
We gotta figure something out.
Well, what was it? There was a. Didn't I found a.
We had the
public domain
Yeah.
playlist on Spotify.
it was
anything before it was composed before 1929.
Yeah, something like that.
Just had a dearth
Yeah.
of choice there.
Mr. Maracas would like us to try mincing garlic with a bread knife.
I don't even think that we have a bread knife here. No, we definitely do not
No,
have a
we
bread
don't have a
knife.
bread knife.
I have one at home, but actually it's a bread knife / tomato slicer, which look very similar.
Yeah.
A little
Cooking tip.
Yeah, cooking tip. All right, should we start?
Yeah, we can start now because Joey B just joined.
Should we be?
I waved.
I think it embarrasses the person if we don't know them. Point them out, then I have to say something. Well, welcome Joey B and everyone else
That doesn't know you.
to our live session again. We're still here, still quarantined,
End of show.
still strong. Yeah. So we're gonna cook. This time we got a lot of good feedback on actually making a dish last week, and so I wanted to do another one, but I can't give away. I can't do a full parting of the kimono, as it were, on recipes that we cook all the time, because then you could just make all of our food at home, and you have no reason to come see us. So we have, fortunately, a giant backlog of tacos that we used to make. They used to be on a regular menu back when we were just rough and tumble pop-up and food truckers.
Late 70s.
Right. And I also, just in keeping with the theme of trying to make it easy to cook along with us if you want, which I know it's hard for Instagram Live because you don't know what we're doing in advance, even though we originally promised that we would do that every week. But also you can't pause it. But if you don't know already, all of our videos that, like the videos I make from home and the videos that we film here live, all of those go on our YouTube channel. So you can find all of them there. It's Three-Legged Tacos. If you search us on YouTube, I think there's only like 4 videos of it. But anyways, in keeping with the theme of trying to make it easy to cook along if you want, this is one of our more straightforward dishes or tacos offerings. It's called El Sureño, which in Spanish means for our purposes, the Southerner. Because this is not actually a taco that was inspired by Mexican cuisine. This is actually inspired by Argentinian Chilean cuisine. Back in the day, when I still had, what do they say, dirt behind your ears?
Not sure on that one.
When I still had
Shit for brains?
shit for brains. I still have that now. No, when I was a greenhorn, I worked at an upscale Argentinian restaurant in Austin, Texas. That has unfortunately since closed, but picked up a lot of cool stuff there about Argentinian cuisine. It's very beef focused, very beef centric. I wanted to do a taco that was what?
Not reading it. Well,
You have to.
having Dan, this is great when you still had fuzz for pubes.
I still had, yeah.
That pretty much sums it up. That was last Wednesday.
So naughty. Yeah, last Wednesday. So it's a super simple taco, but there's some nuance involved in the preparation. But if you take a look, and this is one of our most popular. The El Sureño taco is like, people love this thing. It's basically 3 components. Before, if you include the tortilla, and actually you don't even need to make it into a taco if you don't want to. You can serve it without
A salad.
You can put it. I mean, yeah, you can put it on a salad if
salad.
you want. You could, put it over with, serve it with rice and beans, whatever you want to do. We just turned it into a taco because we're Three-Legged Tacos. So if you look at this is actually all you need. I mean, just to simplify it, these are the ingredients to make this. Well, and the oil, salt, and pepper, and the vinegar. But super easy. You need steak. I actually have some beautiful Wisconsin Meadows New York strip. This is all Wisconsin co-op farm.
Great stuff.
Raised really, really good stuff. Check them out, Wisconsin Meadows.
You become a much better cook with that meat. At least I did.
Yeah, so the steak of your choosing, we used to use top round on the food truck, I think, which can be pretty lean. And if you don't cook it right, kind of tough, but it has great flavor to it. New York strip is probably my favorite cut of beef, besides ribeye, especially bone-in ribeye. I really like bone-in ribeye. Who doesn't? And actually, a lot of people complain about filet, but I love filet. I love filet mignon.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to do like a surf and turf thing.
Bone in too. Oh.
Well, what about, do you remember the surf and turf plate? The surf and turf dinner at a Capitol Grill?
Yeah.
We went, oh my God, that was so good. You got what, like a whole lobster tail and like a 10-ounce filet or something?
It was.
I mean, it was like $60.
But everybody was.
It was so good. And then that cream spinach. Oh. We're gonna be eating some steak, folks. So anyway, so the steak component, we're gonna roast up some cherry tomatoes, and I'll show you how to do that super easy. Parsley, garlic, red pepper flake, some boo. This is, I couldn't decide which one to use. I'm actually gonna toss this one back in the fridge. That's why. I mean, when I'm making a steak, I'm not shy about the butter. Because you're already eating red meat, so. But yeah, and then salt and pepper and vinegar. I would recommend using red wine vinegar, but we don't have any. So we're just going to use white vinegar and some Earl, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, so let's get started. I think in the interest of timing, I think we're going to toss the cherry tomatoes in first. One thing that we don't have that I would recommend you use if you're going to do this at home is get some thyme, like some fresh thyme. If you don't have access to fresh thyme, then I think dried thyme is fine, but always, fresh herbs are preferable. I'll be right back.
Awkward silence.
Might need some little oregano too. I forgot the oregano. You don't need this much. Yeah. So anyways, let's get these tomatoes in. For us, I mean, make however many you want. I'm gonna probably roast up about that many. I have it with some oil. Toss it. Get some kosher salt and black pepper on there. And just incorporate the seasoning. Tomatoes are just like red meat in that they soak up salt really well. So you don't have to worry about like over salting. I mean, don't go crazy. Yeah, a little bit of that. And actually, I'm going to grab a little pinch of this oregano. Just for some aromatics on there.
Might have to have an epilepsy warning on this.
Yeah.
Woo!
We don't
Mess
need
around.
to get that close. Right, I'm going to grab a sheet.
We don't even have a lawyer.
Yeah, well, we should always have our corporate counsel present. What do I want to roast these in? I feel ill-prepared.
This is where we should have thought this through a little better. But let me tell you how the scoring works. No, I'm not going to. It's fixed anyway.
Well, fart.
We can go overdo it with a huge
Just over here
sheet
with a
pan.
huge sheet pan? Okay.
We overcompensated, or we're going to overcompensate.
So get yourself a giant sheet pan and toss those guys on there. We got an oven preheated to about 400. I'm just gonna toss. This is ridiculous. Let's toss those boys, those bad boys. in there.
Everybody likes a big house.
Yes, we'll get that started. So we don't need this anymore. You start on the chimichurri maybe. I think I'm gonna do the steak last.
That'll time well with the tomatoes.
What?
That'll time well with the tomatoes.
Yeah, like I'd say 20 minutes ish. Or actually, I'm gonna need this too. I'm all over the place. So chimichurri is a traditional. I think the jury's still out on whether it's actually. I think it's like falafel in the sense that the Israelis claim that it's an Israeli dish, and then the Arabs claim it's an Arab dish. And no one really knows. I think it's just regional in the same sense. Chimichurri is like claimed by Chileans and Argentinians. I don't know who's right or if it's the same thing. It's just
delicious.
A regional condiment. But it's super basic. It goes really, really good with steak, grilled chicken, seared tuna. Or you can, if you're doing like a mixed grill, it's a really great condiment for just. I mean, it's all around good.
You can put it on a lot, yeah.
What's that?
You can put it on a lot.
Yes.
It's really good.
You can get away with using it quite literally. So for our purposes, I'm gonna do about half. You know what? I'll toss the stems in too. Why not?
If you remember our stem thing last week, use the stems.
Yeah, parsley I feel like is a little different than cilantro.
True.
I think they're tougher and like they're more fibrous than cilantro stems. So maybe like take the huge ones out, but like don't be scared. You don't have to pluck the leaves off of every stalk. Here, you can take this home with you. Just make sure you get all the little leaves in there. So I do about half of a. Sorry, we don't have any clean rags today, so I'm just kind of improvising here. Half of a bunch, and then let's toss in some red pepper flake. Let's do like a tablespoon-ish of red pepper flake. I mean, it's up to you. If you want it to be spicier, then dump the whole thing in. Red chili flake in my lungs. I'm gonna toss in like 2 tablespoons of oregano. That's probably enough. And parsley is just the traditional way of making chimichurri. Like we actually used to make ours with basil.
Yep.
So it kind of had like a pesto-y element to it. What a waste of oil, right? Let's toss that in there.
It's a gas shortage going on. Or there's not actually. David and Skokie, yes, we do have pans. We're not allowed to use them anymore. David said you have no pans. As a question. I said it as a statement.
We don't have little pans.
Yeah, because otherwise we'd have to compensate in some other way.
Right. I'm going to toss in I'm going to start with 1.5 tablespoons of salt and pepper. And I'm going to toss in, is that pepper or a bug? It's pepper, thank God. Okay.
Yeah.
Probably 3 tablespoons of, pretend this is red wine vinegar and not white still vinegar.
I like to pretend.
Yeah. And the last thing is some garlic. I would say 5 cloves of garlic. How about that?
Yeah, those are small.
And we learned last week the best way to peel our garlic, give them a whack. Toss them in there. Whenever I'm processing garlic and it's going into like a sauce or something, a lot of people are obsessive about this little end there. I don't really care. I mean, it's going to get blended up.
Fiber's good for you.
Fiber is good for you.
Especially at my age.
Yeah. You got that right, sister.
Matt just joined.
Area drums?
No. Ulterior mustache.
Oh, different now.
Meh.
Matt. What's up, Matt? We're making the chimichurri. Toss a little oil in there just to get things kind of moving around. I'm gonna need a spatula. That is gonna be for. I need this over here still. You know what? I'm just gonna put a little bit more vinegar in. And then I'm going to blend this.
Oh, we do have some health news. If you notice Sam's foot.
Yeah, well.
No, I wanted to call it out.
Pulse it up. Get it so that it's. You don't want it to be like a paste. You want it to be blended up. You want to have texture to it. So you don't want it to be, like I said, like a paste. Like you want it to have some integrity, because it's gonna just be more enjoyable that way. So if you see here, it's getting closer every time we pulse it a little bit.
Yeah, you can see it from the side. You're not really blending everything up. A few pulses and then mix.
Yeah. Come on, man. There we go. Now I'm going to do it one more time. Cool. That's it. I'll meet you around. I hear the tomatoes are sizzling.
See, so you still got that broken up color. It's not all smooth.
It's right where we want it.
Smells good.
Awesome.
Oh. Yeah, that's about perfect. Like I know.
Next thing you want to do, get that out of the blender. I'm just reusing our bowl that we tossed the tomatoes in because it's, it's just salt, pepper, and oil. Everyone calm down.
People were kind of going a little bit crazy. There were no comments. I could just feel it.
So anyways, get that into a bowl.
I might eat that just plain. That is so good.
And then we're going to hit it with a bunch of olive oil. And I mean a bunch. You can see.
2 cups? Cup and a half?
I'd say that's, a cup and a half of oil for that amount. And grab a little fork, kind of incorporated it, a little bit. You want it to be like a almost, I'd say, I don't know.
You want it to be oily. I mean,
Well, yeah, so like 40% oil.
Yeah.
And 60% the herb mixture that we made earlier. This will taste good right now, but if you wait like 30 minutes to an hour, or even better, a whole day, it's going to taste even better. I mean, that's
Yeah,
good.
it smells really, really good.
It's a little spicy.
Did go with a lot of the red pepper flake.
So boom. Chimichurri's done. Check on our tomatoes.
You can hear that sizzle. Too late. having another little plug.
Yeah. We're gonna need some tortillas. Eventually.
Those are not tortillas.
Yeah, good enough. Now, what do we think about a beer break before we start? Steak.
I kind of got a little bit before you there.
Oh, yeah, okay. Do you have any questions?
No, we haven't seen questions. We just had Liz join, though. Liz 1.
Which,
No questions.
Which list?
There's no picture.
What's the name?
Liz 1.
Oh, hello, Liz. I know so many Liz's.
A lot of Z's in the moniker.
A lot of Z's in this video, too. You know what I'm saying?
Scott Phillips. Yeah.
So like I said, I mean, this is a really simple recipe, but it's a high reward one. The most amount of nuance really comes with, like, it's hard to screw chimichurri up, but the steak is going to be kind of what separates the cooks from the chefs, as it were.
So we've got a couple of questions. We've covered this, Dan. Why don't you make your own tortillas? Because we don't.
What was the first question though?
Why don't we make our own tortillas?
Oh, I thought you said a couple questions.
Yeah, there is another one coming.
Oh, okay.
But it's.
Why don't we make our own tortillas? So, it is. These days, it seems like it's hard to get respect in the realm of Mexican cuisine unless you have your own masa program, which I totally get. I think that being able to have your own masa program to, leverage great connections you may have made in the restaurant industry to get like heirloom corn from Oaxaca and be able to mill it and process it and then make all of your masa products with it is totally rad, and I have so much respect for that. However, it takes a lot of resources and a lot of time and a lot of energy, and we just haven't gotten to the point where we have been able to come up with, number one, a product that we actually think is good enough to sell, and number two, it's a pain in the ass. You basically got to hire someone to run your masa program. And by the time the lockdown came around, I mean, we were barely surviving just because we had just opened. We opened 2 weeks before the lockdown, so.
It may have been somewhat rhetorical. He said, less of a question. Ground some fucking corn, bruh. JK.
You grind some corn.
I'd rather have bomb-ass tacos.
It's a pain in the ass. It's the worst.
But the follow-up question on it is, where do babies come from? That's from David in Skokie.
Where do babies come from? Okay. So David, when a mommy and a daddy love each other very much, when everyone's asleep, sometimes they go to bed and they put their butts together.
Joy.
Yeah. And then a baby comes out.
I think that covers it.
That's
the talk my dad had with me.
Yeah. Son, it's time. Come and sit on my knee. But Dad, I'm 16.
Put your ass up against mine.
Put your ass up against my knee.
See, there's a baby.
Yeah. That's how babies are made. Oh, this got really weird. I don't like this.
Okay.
Any more questions from the peanut gallery?
Yeah. Do crabs think fish are birds?
Crabs think fish are birds because they scuttle along the ocean floor.
And then the fish are above them, I think.
This
I
is
think
one
that's
of those questions like
chicken and egg kind of thing.
Well, no. Like, is every food either a soup or a sandwich?
Mm-hmm.
Which we were having that conversation the other day.
Couldn't find anything that wasn't one of the two.
Yeah. Let's get a suggestion on a food from the peanut gallery.
That is not.
See if we can categorize it using our rationale
As professionals.
Food people that on whether or not it's a sandwich or a soup. Which I could go for either one right now. I'm hungry.
Mr. Sparenga has joined.
Sparengi. So, I think that's enough of a break, so maybe we can, we can get back to it. Is my pilot light still lit? It is not. I've got here, may look like a cast iron skillet, and it very nearly is, but it is slightly different. This is a comal, and it is specifically used for eating tortillas. So I'm going to just kind of put this guy on low because we don't need those tortillas yet. We want to make them right before we plate. I'm going to get a light there.
Ulterior Mustache claims he's close to Mexico, and he just wants to be part of our procurement team. We could let him know what drugs or corn we need.
I've never thought of Matt as a candidate for being a mule of some kind, but I've definitely thought of him as a jackass in the past. Oh, God damn! Where's the fire extinguisher?
Woo!
You put this fire out, partner.
It's that Bugs Bunny t-shirt.
Yeah, the Bugs Bunny t-shirt's making me silly. Anyways, put some frickin' butter in there, man.
Halfway point. Wait, need it's not a base drop.
Whole stick of butter.
A butter drop.
And I'm doing that because we need to get rid of the butter. So.
Buh.
The bull. Bring some more bull for the children. This is a boring
How you
frickin'
cook
video.
a stick of butter.
Melt butter. Now, the other thing is, when you're making this, like this is the kind of like the quintessential steak making method here.
Actually, yeah, this is key.
Butter in the pan, hot pan, keep the butter moving around because you don't want it to burn. If it it'll inevitably burn because you need a high heat. But smash your garlic, put a couple sprigs of like thyme, rosemary, or both preferably, in with the butter.
This truly is how you should make your steak.
I'll break that up just a little bit. Get the earls moving. And what the hell is this one more?
Listen to the smell.
Smell the clouds.
You can hear the sizzle.
Heat up a little bit. Put on there. Keep them there.
See things kind of do the caramelization going. Probably, maybe not. I'm gonna give a shake, even though I'm not sanctioned in the kitchen. Really heating up on the Kamal. Good. Thinner than the cast iron, but not cast iron. Careful not to let the butter burn too much. Or shake the pan too much and start catastrophic fire. Yes, we have paid our gas bill, Matt. We are okay. Even if we haven't paid it, it's still on.
All right.
There we go. There we go.
So I took the tomatoes out, just tossed them in a bowl. They'll puff up when you cook them, and then they'll deflate when you take them out. Super tasty.
pretty much like candy.
Got our steak out here. Bad boy. And I'm going to go ahead and lay that puppy right in the pan.
Always spank your meat before you put it in the frying pan.
See the butter's starting to brown a bit, that's fine.
We have got Matt Krychek now.
What's up, air raid drums?
Drummer extraordinaire.
Let's get some kosher salt and black pepper on there. Don't be shy, because a lot of it will end up in the butter.
Yeah, like I said before, this is the way you should make your steak. Grilling is sometimes hit or miss. This is way better. And even if it's not, what the fuck do I know?
My baby's watching, Paul. Watch the language.
They're cool babies, and as some other shows say.
So you're going to want to tip the pan periodically.
That's the technique.
Face that sucker. Also, people are always caterwauling about don't move your meat around too much. If you're cooking it in butter, it doesn't really matter. Like, if you're putting it on the grill, yeah, or if you're cooking it on a flat top, you're going to lose a lot of moisture.
Yeah.
But, yeah, don't even worry about it. Now, in a situation like this, where this is the only thing we're cooking, I can actually spend a lot of time paying attention to this guy. If you're in a busy kitchen, in a restaurant, you're not going to be able to baste it nearly this much. But that's all we got to do right now.
This is a bunch of browning and everything you put in there. Okay. Matt, you say working. You have a show tonight?
Where would you have a
Air raid drums. I know you can't do it. He says working.
Where's his favorite?
He did forget that. So he's working. Well, it's in quotes, so I'm not sure.
It means he's put in work.
Yeah. You see that? Beautiful, beautiful color. Yeah, head shavers. Takes me a while to catch up, you know that, Matt. Look at that.
Flip.
Look at that color.
You're being very vocal today.
Oh, that's what drugs will do to you. Wow, this is gonna be good. 23. Come off for a while, it'll be good for tortillas. That steak is just, oh, looking so good. You can see it, like I said, don't be afraid on the outside there. It's brown, that's okay, I think.
I mean, you know.
I'm just talking because Sam's not here, so I'm making things up. We need Smellorama because it's really flipping amazing.
I'm going to turn the heat off now. And in the 5 minutes or so that we're going to let the steak rest, we make our tortillas.
Turn the heat off. Yeah, so I've just, I said as much. I didn't say as much, but I said as much. Whew. So we said there was easy elements. We got the steak, tomato confit tomatoes, chimichurri. And now we're working on the fourth element. Sam missed it. I'm not a camera professional, but that is the butter from the steak pan that Sam is now using to put onto the cabal to do the tortillas.
Why not? Felt like a waste of butter.
And it's got all that taste in there.
All that taste.
If you don't have a cabal or a cast iron pan, you can just, I think we showed it last week or the week before, just your open flame on your range will work.
It will work. It's a totally different texture and
Yeah,
flavor.
but I said if you can't do this, don't fret. I felt fretting out there. All right, Matt said that looks so bomb. Got to actually work. I'll be back. Tote them kegs, man.
Bye, Matt.
All our friends have to be named Matt, actually. Watching the slow cooking of tortillas.
Get a little tooth on those.
A little bit of color.
We'll do them again.
It'll just hold the tortilla together a little bit. Corn can break pretty easily.
Grip it and rip it, partner. It's my girlfriend's favorite thing to yell at me from across the house. She hears me open, even if it's like a LaCroix. I'll be in the kitchen and I'll open a LaCroix sparkling water, and then I hear from upstairs, grip it and rip it.
That's a beer professional.
Pull these guys off here, take the heat off of that. Grab our steak.
Look at that.
Now I prefer my steak on the rarer side. You can kind of obviously do it however you want.
Oh my gosh.
That's so good.
That might fall down, so. That's so good.
I didn't really use the right knife, but whatever. So,
See, just
there we go. Stir up your chimichurri, flake directly onto the beef, and do not be shy.
sucks to be all of you because I get to eat this.
Get a couple of your confit cherry tomatoes, top them up. Voila. It ain't perfect.
It is
It'll
pretty.
satisfy
It's
what
pretty.
ails you.
It's pretty.
It is. So there we go. Are you not entertained? Any latent questions?
No questions. No
Good.
questions.
So I'll get this fat out. No way, fat. I'm trying to get fat off a lot of things right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It looks delicious, David and Skokie. Yes, it truly does.
So yeah. Wash my hands real quick. I know I wasn't particularly vocal today in comparison with other days, but that is
The El Sereno.
the El Sereno taco. Super fun.
Not too difficult.
Not difficult at all. Very tasty.
Yeah. These were killers.
But yeah, modify it however you want. As I always say, you know, it's so easy to make this your own in so many ways. Like I said, you can swap out different fresh herbs for the parsley. In the chimichurri, you can use, hell, you could use chicken for this instead of steak. Play around with it. And there was what, 5 ingredients in this?
I think you might even go like a vegan. Go with do up your best tofu and do chimichurri.
Sure, yeah, chimichurri.
Right, you're totally, I mean,
tofu,
it's
or fish, like I said.
Yeah,
like,
fish definitely.
Seared tuna would be really good with chimichurri. Yeah, make it your own. The taco party kits that we mentioned last week were a bit delayed just based because of an injury I sustained that made it very difficult for us to kind of jump back into operation. But those are live currently, so if you do want to place orders for next week, that is, you can pick up between Wednesday and Sunday. Orders are fulfilled the next day after you place the order, and you can find those on our website, threeleggedtacos.com, and just go to merch.
Can't go wrong.
And the kits will be next to t-shirts and hats. We have received several orders for t-shirts, and I'm sorry those are going out slowly, but we're, obviously dealing with some complications due to coronavirus, so they will be going out very soon. And if you have not received an email from me, then your order is on the way. So there's that. We are trying to find a way to actually open for a limited to-go/delivery menu. It's tough as we're not as established as a lot of the other Chicago restaurants that are continuing to be able to survive during this, because they have a customer base and are able to leverage that. It's a bit of a struggle for us because we were very young as a restaurant before, obviously.
2 weeks old.
2 weeks old. So that's been a challenge, and there's a lot of there's a balancing act financially when it comes to being able to do that in a way that makes sense for us. So we're working on a way to make that happen. And other than that, yeah, we're going to keep doing these videos. I'm sorry I didn't do a video from home this week. It was mostly because of the injury, but I'll be back next week with more videos from home, with another video from home on Wednesday. And this video will be posted on our YouTube channel tomorrow. So you can, if you want to actually cook this, it'll be easy. You can, check out the recipe list. I'm trying to get more professional with all this stuff when it comes to editing, including things like ingredients lists, posting it on the Instagram in advance. But we're learning here.
And if you have a question on if you'd like to make this, just contact us and we'll
I always say,
give you the exact email. Yeah, the exact ingredients.
Message us on Instagram or send us an email, info@threeleggedtacos.com. Message us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or email us, or just give us a call if you have any questions, and we'd be happy to answer them for you, because we just want to keep doing these so that we can continue to stay connected with you guys, and hopefully that'll carry us forward a little bit in these trying times towards the point where we can actually serve you tacos again and see you face to face. But that's the ultimate goal, obviously. So yeah, is there anyone who has anything they want to add?
Stretch it out.
Oh, we don't know.
No questions.
No, we don't need to go for a full hour.
No, I don't think there's a penalty.
Yeah.
But
Plus,
if you,
wanna eat these tacos.
for me, if you took anything out of this, that technique of making the steak is
Yeah, and
wonderful.
it's super easy.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost idiot proof. And like I said, use the garlic, use the butter.
Yeah.
Use fresh herbs. So just toss a couple sprigs of thyme in there with it. Toss a couple sprigs of rosemary. You don't have to pick all the leaves off because you're not going to be eating them. So you can just kind of, and even if you buy the thyme, I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, I bought thyme and I'm only going to use it for one thing and it'll sit in my fridge. Well, not in this case, because if you buy thyme to cook the steak, you can also just take the leaves off the thyme and toss it in with the chimichurri and it'll add another layer of complexity. The thing is, as long as you're using butter and salt, you can't really screw this stuff up. I mean, you might overcook something, but, that's what's fun about cooking, right? It's like you have a baseline of something that you want to make, and then either you make happy mistakes or you make sad mistakes. But the cool thing is unless you burn something to a crisp, it's still going to be edible.
Yep.
So play around and don't be afraid to take chances because it's hard, and a lot of people think that, oh, I'm a bad cook. I don't even want to try to make that. Well, the thing is I guarantee you're a better cook than you think you are. And just keep it simple. Try to not get in your own head about it, and try to, get creative and take chances. And it'll usually pay off. Like I said, butter and salt always helps. But yeah, I think that's it, right?
Yeah, that's
Probably
it.
gonna
That's
sign
all
off and
we
eat
got.
these tacos.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So we will see you guys.
Flip flop. Oh jeez. Yeah.
Everyone goes, ah!
Oh, God. See, that's why I don't turn the camera around.
All right. Bye.
Stay safe, everyone.